to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we have a reading for you about somebody. It could be you, it could be somebody that you know who is ignoring the red flags, not wanting to be honest with themselves that there is a person they're dealing with, that this is somebody who's wearing a mask. They're pretending to be what you're looking for, or pretending to be maybe what your friend is looking for, or your ex. So we have a fraud or a fake, a person who feels like they can kind of play a part and therefore get access to somebody or maybe even get into a relationship. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime chime. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hello. Can I just call you Funny Fun? How we doing? Hello, Key Controller. Hello, Grind Tired. How we doing? If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. They do start at $40 USD, and they are ad-free. My email address is in the description box along with more information on how to become a member. And we do have a members only live in just under an hour for those that are in the stars and the towers tiers. How's it going, Rachel? Hello, Holy Ghost. Let's start off with the OG or the Rider-Waite. What else do we have? What else do we have? Hello, Phoenix Rose. How are you doing? Rachel, that's awesome. I'm excited for you and slightly jealous. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups in the reverse, and the King of Swords. Yeah, I feel there is someone who is close or who has known this person a long time. So let the energy fit your story however it's meant to. Either this is someone who feels like they need to tell you that you're in a relationship that you need to get out of, or you may be this King of Swords, someone who feels like you need to look out for a close friend or an important person of yours and say, hey, like this doesn't seem cool to me. Whoever you're dating or falling in love with seems a little sketchy to me. Tell me more. 6 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. So there is this need to have a conversation to be protective over a person who could be contemplating traveling or even moving. I love Minnesota Picket. I don't know if I ever got an answer on whether or not you wanted me to pull some cards, but if you want me to, let me know. Hello, Hope. What's up? Just a little bit. So we have the 3 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, someone else is looking at this couple. See how there's this flashlight? Looking at this couple saying, this is not love. This is not respectful or healthy. There's something toxic or manipulative about this relationship. Again, there's someone wearing a mask. Hello, is it Talan? Is the H silent? You let me know if I said it wrong. Hello, Vishal, how are you doing? Hello, Yashi, how are you doing? Hello, is it Mia? How are you? Hey, Yashi, I encourage you to enjoy the general reading for a little bit. Love to all the cheeseburgers. And I will start personal questions at about 30 minutes. I will let you all know I have a little bit of a limitation because I have that members only reading at 1:30 and I gotta disconnect from this reading and connect to that one. So I'll be shutting her down about 1:10 or 1:15, about 45 minutes. All right, so we've got the High Priestess in the reverse, the King of Pentacles, and the Magician. Yeah, someone here is blinded or refusing to see what's really going on. They're not paying attention to their intuition, or they would pick up on the fact that the person they're trying to be in a relationship with is someone who is manipulative or creating some sort of illusion. And this King of Swords, whether that's you or a friend of yours, somebody here is like, nah, I know that this person's not for real. Hello, Piyush. How are you doing? I might have a little bit of a shopping trip planned this afternoon. Hello, Wonder. So I gotta make sure I get my tasks done. Personal readings too. Hello, how's it going, Setting? Hello, Wonder. Hello, Jasmine. So we have the Two of Wands and the Lovers with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Someone who's observing, who knows that there could be a trip or some sort of meetup planned, is encouraging someone to be honest with themselves and see the red flags. I know you're really excited about this person. I know it seems like a dream come true, but it also might be somebody is being dishonest with you or wearing a mask. And with the Eight of Swords in the reverse, we've got somebody who sees through the illusion. I know that this is somebody who's faking. But that's not an easy thing to communicate to a person that is rather excited about that, you know? Hey y'all, please make sure you're translating to English before you post. And Coco, I'm putting you in the briefest of timeouts because you are spamming the live chat. You are welcome to come back in 5 minutes, but please do not spam. Hello, Rohit. How are you doing? Hello. Mr. Whale, how are you? Oh, that's a very sweet compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Russell. How are you doing? Hello, King. Hello, Crom. This is the Tarot of the Nile. Although today it is probably more of denial. So we have someone who's refusing to see the red flags, right? Look, we have to be able to take messages, even if they are saying that we are missing something or we are, you know, not willing to listen to the details or the observations around us. But we've got someone here who's got a friend looking out for them, trying to make sure that the rose-colored glasses are tested, right? Like, hey, is this really what you think is going on with this person? Tell me what they said. Like, what is this person doing to show you that they are legit? I feel like we have somebody digging into a professional background, so maybe even looking them up online. Four of Pentacles in the reverse and the Empress. And this investigative friend or the person who's concerned finds that there could be some information regarding family or like past history that has not been shared. So I do feel like there is a conflict in this person's story and what is found online. You know, you said you were single, but this says that you haven't finalized the divorce. You said you were from Texas, but this says that that's a lie. There's something here that creates confusion or doubt about the person who otherwise has a pretty sparkling reputation. Or, you know, hey, you think this person's your dream partner, but why are they lying about this? You know, what else is there? Hello, 14E, what's up? Hello, Dominique. Thank you, Rachel. Merry Christmas to you as well, Robert. We have the Eight of Cups in the reverse, which means we have 3 eights over here, by the way. Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Cups from the same tarot deck. And the Nine of Wands in the reverse. You got somebody feeling like they have to defend themselves. They forgot a detail or they misspoke. And I feel like it's right before somebody is going to take a trip or somebody is feeling like everything's going perfectly, and then this little detail pops up and it's like, oh, why would you lie about that? Why would this not align with your story unless you've been just kind of like adding some things to make it seem better? It could also be about making up some history to try to make it seem like you have something in common, or hiding something. But here this King of Swords is, again, either the friend who's looking out for you or this is you. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Jonathan. How are you doing? I've worked with some folks from Bristol. They were delightful. Hello, Green. How are you doing? Thank you, Mohammed. And appreciate all of you for liking and subscribing. We have Strength, another 8, and the 7 of Cups. Yeah. What had looked like a really strong, like, reliable option, someone who was, I don't know, it's like I was waiting for a long time and then finally there's this person, but now it looks like they've just created like a weird science version of what I want in a person, but it's not real. Hello, AJB, how are you doing? This is the Tattoo Tarot. The Empress. Judgment. And the Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords is different from others in that it has a horse with 2 heads, indicating somebody who had to choose between 2 different directions. But I also feel like this is somebody who is kind of like misdirecting, like, oh yeah, no, I don't have any problems, or asking a question that's purposefully wrong. Like, oh yeah, didn't you say you went to Lincoln High School and graduated in 2011? And they're going to misquote something, right? They're going to say something wrong to see if this person corrects them. I feel like there's some sort of like, I know the answer, or I know that you might not catch this, and I'm going to see how you handle it. This is from the King of Swords. A little question to see if the person wearing a mask is going to trip up. The person wearing a mask I'm going to refer to as the Magician. Five of Cups. Hanged Man in the reverse. They fall into this trap. Uh-oh. Because the Five of Cups is not realizing there's 2 cups right here. Focused on the past. Or regretful, right? So I say something too quickly, or I mix it up with a previous story, or I don't take the question very seriously and I don't think too hard. But the Hanged Man in the reverse, this is like somebody who is like stubbornly confident, like, I'm not worried about it. Whatever I tell you, you'll believe, without realizing that they're talking to this King of Swords who has done their research or is asking this question very specifically to see if there are holes in the story. That sounds rough, Key Controller. I hope that improves. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse and the Six of Swords. We keep getting the Six of Swords, and I feel like this is someone's going on a trip or somebody's going to visit. Somebody is, I mean, it's the holidays coming up, right? And there's this concern that you're dealing with somebody who is going to make you disappointed or your friend disappointed. Ten of Cups, King of Wands in the reverse, because this is an unreliable energy. Someone who's prone to flaking or canceling at the last minute. And I feel like with the Devil in the reverse, this is saying you don't want your friend, or you have a friend who doesn't want you to be obligated or like make all of this effort for somebody who could be kind of unpredictable. Hello, Vish, how are you doing? Five of Swords, Seven of Cups in the reverse, and the Page of Swords. So this Five of Swords is that question that someone answers incorrectly, or it exposes the fact that they've made something up and clarifies for the person who's refusing to see the reality of the connection. Now they have receipts. Now they have proof. Oh, so you lied about that. Oh, so you actually did this, or you were not actually planning on staying that whole time, or you were going to dip out early and go meet up with your friends. There's something here where it's like, okay, so I guess you were just pretending that you wanted to do the right thing. This is the Love Oracle. What else do we have? Chasing, pursuit, toxicity, resilience, longing, craving, aching, wanting, and hopeless, sinking, despair, falling apart. So now we have someone who is worried because they have to be confronted with this truth, whether this is you or a friend of yours. There is this frustration because the toxicity has been exposed. There's no denying it. Even though I want this person, it's true that they're not really doing right by me. But yeah, they've been trying to suppress this frustration or this knowledge, ignore what was going on, being a little bit stubborn because they didn't want to give up on this connection. Focused on a reconciliation or finding a way to work through the problems, but feeling like maybe it was only one-sided, like the other person wasn't really willing to work together. Hello, KMJ, how are you doing? This is a general reading. Feel free to objectify the like button. I love it when you say that. So we have only you, devoted, attached, crave, beginnings, try again, new direction, start over, and conflict. So this conflict comes when there is a determination on part of the person who's not wanting to accept that the magician is wearing a mask. They feel like there's only one person for them. They're not interested in hearing the negatives about this masked individual, the magician. If there's been an argument, it's like, no, I'm really, really wanting there to be a way for us to work through this conflict. But this conflict keeps coming back up. There's a repeating cycle here, the same kind of mistake or the same kind of like disrespect. I'm working right now, Tron. How you doing? Pain, apprehensive, afraid, cautious, and emotional storm. Turmoils, unstable, affected. But this friend is realizing that the confusion or the illusion that the magician is causing their friend is concerning. So this King of Swords feels like, you know, yeah, maybe I should be quiet, but I feel like I need to look out for my friend because they keep going through the same type of argument. We're going to go with the Effort Oracle and see what we get for you all. Because I do feel like there's a shift in this person's mindset. This could be, I think I'm going to refer to them as the King of Pentacles, the person who really wants to be in a relationship that is avoiding the truth. I feel like they have a shift towards, ooh, no. And it's because they have a friend who's saying, you really need to think about what this person is saying and compare it to the truth or the reality of the situation. Thank you for clarifying that, Rachel. KMJ, Rachel's got the answer for you. Hello, Nita. How are you doing? Please don't include personal information. What else do we have? I do think that there is a chance we have some ability to help the friend here. If you are resonating with this King of Swords, I do feel like there is some willingness to hear you out and understand that maybe things happen for a reason. There could be a sense that the Magician only learns the lesson if they are separated from this person, this King of Pentacles, because the law of attraction effed with you. So there's something in this person that attracted the King of Pentacles, even though there was an illusion or a falseness here. So there could be a certain type that the King of Pentacles maybe needs to stop pursuing. But there's also a concern on behalf of the King of Pentacles that if they were to stop seeing this Magician, that maybe it's really complicated. Maybe I live with this person. Maybe we have holiday plans. Maybe a lot of my stuff is at their place. This is saying just do it one step at a time. You can do it. All right. We're going to get a few from the Character Oracle. What is the concerning characteristic about this Magician? What is the concerning characteristic about this Magician? Lost soul, seeker of clarity, wanderer, confusion, defeat, struggle. The Magician has a characteristic that's concerning around creating confusion. And there could also be some legal issues here because we do have the criminal card. So we could have somebody that has struggled to let go of a past where, you know, maybe they had some issues with discipline or following the law. Could also be that this is someone who just doesn't listen to like a therapist and doesn't want to respect, you know, what is learned in those situations. We have educator and civil servant. The person who is the King of Swords is a person who is well educated or absorbs things very easily, even if they don't have a lot of, you know, accredited degrees. This is someone who people look to for advice, the King of Swords. This could also be somebody who is in the legal field. They might have some administration or public official title, but I do feel like they are pretty regularly looking out for others, and I do feel like they have good intentions towards you. They want you to know the truth. And we also have somebody here who is pretty creative. I feel like this could actually be the Magician. But it could be any one of the three individuals here, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, or the Magician. The problem here is I feel like the way somebody paints the picture or the way someone describes themselves or a connection is overly romanticized. It's like if you've ever seen the paintings of monarchs several hundred years ago where maybe that person wasn't really that attractive, but someone was trying to be a good subject and not incur the wrath of their monarch. So, you know, painted them a little bit more attractive. This is somebody who is editing things to make it look a little bit better or a little bit more like what you want, right? Hello, LA. I hope you find the strength for that. Sending you healing energy. Hello, Minnie. How are you doing? Hello, Merrick. What's up? It's funny. I greeted you, and then we have the gang card come out. Because I would associate that word with, you know. So we did have the criminal card come out. Now we have the gang card, Brotherhood of Shadows, Underworld, Transactions, Violence, Criminality. And then we have Elder, Wisdom Bearer, Experience, Tradition, Kindness, and Health. And I don't know if you're going to see this one coming, but I feel like this is the King of Swords individual who has this ability to give you some really strong advice or help you to see the truth about the mask. This is someone who grew up around that kind of energy or was once challenged with those same things. So in other words, this could be somebody who feels like they recognize a type of energy because they used to embody that, or because they were raised by someone who did, or because their sibling got involved in that. But we have someone who, like, they know how to identify what's going on here, especially if we have somebody who works in the legal field, right? Oh, that one actually goes here. All right, let's see. We're going to get a few from the Kipper. What else do we have? Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? We have the mature man in the reverse. Someone here is trying to look like they have their ish together when they don't. We could have somebody who's lying about a job or their financial security. Yeah, I feel like we have somebody who's trying to minimize their debt or the issues that they have with regards to financial stability. We have someone who provides kind of, it's like they don't really set good expectations, or they break promises, they flake out on plans. And they're dealing with a mature individual who is seeing the true motivations behind these actions. I feel like this is the King of Swords. And this King of Swords is feeling like there's too much investment from someone who wants this to be a positive experience or relationship. But from the outside, it seems quite obvious that there's someone who's being fake, pretending they are someone that they are not. Maybe because it is financially beneficial to them. Maybe they need a place to stay. Maybe they feel like groceries are cheaper if they get to split them. Maybe this is someone who just doesn't want to do all of the work. But this King of Swords is like onto it. Like, I know what's going on here, and maybe you are not wanting to see it, but this is what it looks like to me. So they're trying to look out for you. Hello, Southern Peak. How are you doing? I hope you have a good day too. Hello, Dove. What's up? All right, y'all. Since we don't have any personal questions, I might dip out early and then I can come back for that 1:30 members only live stream. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. And thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.